Have you ever felt stuck? Like things are just happening to you instead of you making things happen. Well, we're going to talk about a mindset that completely flips that script. It's called radical accountability, and it might just be the secret to taking back control. All right, let's get into it. So just picture this for a second. Your team launches a huge project, you've put weeks, maybe even months of work into it, and then it totally bombs. What's the first question that pops into everyone's mind? Whose fault is this, right? Was it the marketing team? Was the product wrong? The economy? Our gut reaction is almost always to look for a reason that's, well, outside of ourselves. And that instinct leads us straight into the blame game. We've all been there. It's that frustrating cycle of pointing fingers, just trying to find a scapegoat for why things went south. But here's the thing, it's a total trap. And honestly, it gets you absolutely nowhere. And this is the most important part to get. The moment you start blaming the market or some algorithm or even your boss, you've just given away all your power. Because think about it, if it's their fault, what can you do about it? Nothing. You're just a victim of circumstance. And that is the fastest way to lose complete control of the situation. This is how an excuse culture starts to build up. Teams get so caught up in explaining why they failed instead of just learning from it and trying something new. It just stops all progress in its tracks. And all your energy shifts from playing offense, adjusting and moving forward, to playing defense, which is really just complaining and making excuses.
So what if there's a different way to handle this? Well, there is. It's a completely different rule for how to operate, and it's a way of thinking that you see again and again and again with the world's most successful people.
And this quote right here, it just nails the core idea. The highest performing CEOs, they operate with this mindset. They think, the economy is tough? That's my fault for not preparing the company. A platform's algorithm changed? My fault for not diversifying. An employee didn't perform well? My fault for not training or managing them right. It all comes back to you. So this is it. This is radical accountability. And it's a super simple idea, but it has a huge impact. It just means you accept 100% responsibility for everything that happens. Now, I know that sounds intense, but look at the second half of that sentence, because this is where the magic happens. When you take all the responsibility, you get all the power to fix it. So once you start thinking this way, it totally changes how you deal with problems. Instead of asking who's to blame, the question becomes, okay, how do we solve this? You shift your focus away from the post-mortem, which is all about the past, and towards a pivot, which is all about the future. And you can really see the difference here. The old way, the post-mortem, it's all about assigning blame. It keeps you stuck in the past, and it just creates more excuses. But the new way, this pivot analysis, it's completely different. It's all about finding solutions, looking to the future, and creating real action. Let's make this super practical. Let's say your company's big ad campaign fails. The old school blame game thought is, the market is dumb, they just didn't get our brilliant idea. But the radically accountable thought, that sounds like, nope, we failed. Our messaging wasn't clear enough. We need to communicate this better. You see the difference? One leaves you feeling powerless, and the other gives you a clear next step. And here's a framework you can use right away. Next time something goes wrong, just follow these 4 steps. First, just accept it. The results are the results, no sugarcoating. Second, ask the right question. Not whose fault, but how did we miss the mark here? Third, find the one thing you can actually control and change. And fourth, and this is the most important one, act on it, like right now. Okay, so this brings us to the final and honestly the most powerful part of this whole idea. We have to completely reframe the word fault. We need to stop thinking of it as a bad thing. In this mindset, fault is actually the source of all your power. Because think about it. The moment you stop pointing fingers, the second you stop making excuses and you just look at a problem and decide, you know what, this is on me, something really powerful happens. You get all the power to fix it. That's the trade-off. Responsibility and power are 2 sides of the same coin. You really can't have one without the other. If you want the power, you have to take the responsibility first. So let's just let that sink in for a second. The entire concept, everything we've talked about, it all boils down to this one simple idea. If it's your fault, then you can change it. If it's someone else's fault, you're stuck, right? You have to wait around for them to do something. But if it's yours, you can get to work immediately. And that right there, that's where real control comes from. So I'll leave you with this question.
Just think for a second about your work, your projects, your life. What's one thing you've been kind of blaming on someone or something else? And what do you think would happen if, starting today, you decided it was 100% your fault? And because of that, 100% in your power to change?